How much trouble are the Lakers in? Are your Lakers in?
They're in real trouble. It's very, very concerning.
Really? You're all the way to real trouble?
Yeah, they're in real trouble, Skip. You watch what they did last night and you watch what they did on Friday night. They're not playing any defense. They gave up 72 points to a Toronto team, minus Gary Trent Jr., minus Fred VanVleet. Now, obviously, the two of their better players were there, and they let them go bonkers. Pascal Siakam and Kyle Lowry. Kyle Lowry couldn't miss from the three-point line last night. But it's, Skip, the problem that I've had with the Lakers all year, and I've voiced this on several occasions, they have these long droughts in which they don't score any points. And if I'm not mistaken, I think they put on the screen last night stat up where they had 3 2+ minute scoring droughts. And we see that they go 3, they'll go 5, sometimes even 6 minutes and not score the basketball. That's fine if you're locking people down on the other end. And how do you go from a 12-point lead to down 13 at the half? Is because you start playing defense, you start turning the football over. And then these guys are...
Or the basketball, either way.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, Skip. Yep. They don't score the basketball. Yep. They don't play defense. They turn it over, so they compounded the problem.
By the way, Toronto scored 40 in the second quarter.
40, a 40-piece against that team. Skip, look, I think everybody can see LeBron is not even close to 100%. We see the way he's getting up and down the court. We see the things that he was doing before the injury, and we see the things that he can't do now. This is where he is. This is what it's going to be. I don't know if he'll be, even 75, 80% by the time the playoffs start. But what was concerning is that he left the ball game and he didn't come back last night because of soreness. Is he going to play back-to-back, Skip? That remains to be seen. I guess when he wake up, how does it feel in the morning, Skip? But it's very concerning. What's most concerning about me is AD. AD was shooting 53% before he left. He's shooting 39%. AD can't play the amount of minutes that he's playing and give us 12 points. He can't do it, Skip. He can't play the amount of minutes and give us 5, 6 rebounds. He can't do it, Skip. The whole purpose of bringing AD was not only to help win a championship right now, but when LeBron leaves, AD was going to be the next guy in line for the mantle. And that's normally how it goes, Skip. You have Kareem, and then you transition to Magic. They had the law there. You had Shaq, you transition to Kobe. Normally, that's how they do it. But for whatever reason, AD has not come back with what I thought. And I get it. Yeah, it's going to take him a little while. But AD, the shots, it's just not falling for him. And he's getting frustrated. He's missing free throws. He's missing easy shots right around the rim. But, Skip, they're in trouble. The problem that I have with everybody talking about the play-in game, I heard no one mentioned the play-in at the start of the season. No one mentioned the play-in when they was in first, second, or third place. It's now that everybody's starting to fall and the play-in seems like a real possibility. Now, all of a sudden, the play-in game is a problem. But let me tell you what happened. Y'all, look, you said you wanted to come back after Dr. King holiday. The NBA says, well, guys, we're going to lose like $1 billion if we don't come back sooner. You're like, well, I need my check. So what do you expect was going to happen? 71 days afterward, you play 72 games in a condensed schedule. NBA said we got to recoup some of that money, so we'll have 2 play-ins. I believe moving forward, you're going to have a play-in game. You might not have 9, 10, but you're probably going to have, what 7, 8, 9 as a play-in game, Skip. So for me, the Lakers are in trouble. They're not defending, and AD, their best player, is injured. He can't rehab. Rehab is over. He's going to have to rehab on the court. And the second best player has not lived up to expectations since he's returned from injury.
Okay, it is now my turn. It seems like it was just a couple of weeks ago that LeBron James tweeted, "A storm is coming."
Yeah.
And it is now raining cats and dogs on the Lakers inside Staples Center.
There's a leak in Staples.
There's a big leak because your team, the Lakers, the team that plays upstairs at Staples, has fallen to 17-15 at home. 17-15 losses at home. Meanwhile, the team in the basement, the Clippers, 24-9 at Staples. So I would say that's big advantage. Rondo's new team, right?
Yep.
Okay. Also, I had some issue yesterday. I just got to get this off my chest with LeBron James. It was late yesterday morning. He's tweeting, can anybody help me? If we could see this tweet, can anybody help me find a gaming chair? Who makes the best, most comfortable gaming chair? I need one for myself. LeBron, you got a game tonight, as in game, real game, not gaming. You got a game.
Well, you might want to sit in for the game, Skip.
Oh, maybe that was it, because I tweeted that Maybe he could find a gaming chair with an enhanced clutch gene on it, because that could help him, because he needs one right now. So let's step back and look at what just happened in 2 straight home games in which LeBron returned. Again, he returned with his 2 other co-stars, Anthony Davis and your newest co-star, who actually played pretty well last night, Kareem Abdul-Drummond, the big penguin. He put up some pretty good numbers. Yet it was Kyle Kuzma after the game last night who was campaigning for Marc Gasol to get more minutes, because I think they're all seeing that the big penguin just sort of clogs up the lane. I think it's a bad fit. I told you going in, I first guessed this, that it's hard on LeBron and AD when you push them farther from the basket and you take away their driving lanes or their inside presence. It's hard because the big penguin just posts up and he's such a wide body, it's hard for anybody else to have much presence in the lane.
Skip, with what they had, what AD was going against Sacramento and what he was going in Toronto, I don't care if he has a mountain in the lane. There's no excuse for the guys that he's going against for him not to dominate.
Okay, I got it. And I'm with you on that. And that's a fair criticism on your part. It's objective, and I appreciate your painful objectivity today and your candor about your crumbling Lakers.
You had to get that in. Huh?
Yeah. Okay. So what happens on Friday night? You're playing against a Sacramento that just 2 nights earlier had suffered the worst home loss in their history in Sacramento. They had gotten blown off their home floor by Utah 154-105. And here they came, and there's no De'Aaron Fox. There's no Harrison Barnes. So you're a prohibitive favorite to win that game.
Yep.
And it's nip tuck, nip tuck. You see, in both games, it looked like you would assert yourself and take over. Even last night, you had a 10-point lead, late first quarter? And it just seemed like, here you go, and there you went.
Right.
So if we could see what happens down the stretch of the game against Sacramento, this is the bad one. This is your worst loss, is that one. Because with 117 left in the game, LeBron takes a 3. They're down 2. LeBron tries a 3 here to put them up 1, and he hits nothing but air. It's an air ball, and you just can't do that in that situation, which leads to the final. Here's the air ball one more time. It's up, and it's nothing but air. And here we go with the final possession. LeBron says, okay, I got it again. I'll shoot another 3, and at least it was up. Never in is the oldest cliche in basketball. He got it up, and he back-ironed it to win the game. They were down 1. And again, you know my issue with LeBron. Why don't you just take that to the basket and get fouled?
No,
just go. Go.
He's not. I mean, you can see he can't turn the corner right now without.
Do you really believe that?
Yes. Skip,
okay.
Skip, you watching the game. Skip,
okay.
You watching the game.
I didn't see that. I didn't see it. I'm sorry. And then he said after the Friday night game, I knew I wasn't going to get back to 100%. It's impossible. I don't think I will ever get back to 100% in my career. I thought his pride was more hurt than his ankle at that point because he had missed the shot to win the game.
Right.
Okay.
Well, that's hyperbole. Yeah, I mean, he knows he's not going to be 100% this year. It's hard to get healthy while you're playing on the injured body part. He knows that. But the career, I mean, hey, once the season's over with, after 2 or 3 months of rest and recovery, LeBron James will be back. But the likelihood of that happening during the course of this season is not going to happen.
Okay. So the point is, we get to Sunday, and you're up against a Toronto that is 26-38, and I don't think they're going to even make the play-in tournament. Nope. I think they're going to miss the playoffs.
I agree.
Okay, and they're playing without Anunoby, they're playing without Van Vliet, and you mentioned no Gary Trent Jr.
Correct.
Well, that's kind of the guts of your team.
It is.
Except you still have an aging Kyle Lowry. Once upon a time, it looked like the Lakers were after him, and remember at the end of the trade deadline.
Right.
And, of course, Siakam. And here come both of them, and they just light you up. And I've been questioning all year that the Lakers have stayed #1 in defensive efficiency, and I never could figure it out. I think it's in part because they don't really race it up and down, but so they keep their opponent's points down. But last night was just sorry from start to finish because once the second quarter happened, they just looked dead.
They did.
They looked dead in the water. They looked flat.
There are some of the shots that Kyle Lowry hit, Skip, you just look to the coaches like, hey, what you want me to do? I mean, he had a step back with a 4-point play with KCP. He hit one over Caruso. I mean, once he got it going, and what we're seeing, Skip, when these guys get hot, we saw Jason Tatum go get 50, go get 60. We saw the kid, the youngest, he's the second youngest to go get a 50-10 game. He's 20 years old. Once these guys see the ball go in a couple of times, it's all, you can't play no defense. You got to shut that off before it gets started, because if you don't, what happened with Kyle Lowry? He's 8 of 13. He couldn't miss. Pascal Siakam. They let Siakam go for what, 19 in the first quarter, 16, 19 in the first quarter? Well, Skip, AD got him. Skip, AD is one of the better defensive players in all of basketball.
I'll give you that.
You can't let Siakam do that.
Okay, so that happens. And then, again, I don't know how much LeBron's pride is injured or his ankle is still hurt. I don't know, because who knows? But you think it's still a big problem.
So let me ask you a question. When you watch LeBron get up and down the court, he looks normal to you?
I didn't see him limping.
Skip, no. Like I said, if you got to pause, the answer is no. Because you told me, well, if I got to pause to think about if a guy gets in the Hall of Fame, the answer is no. I ask you, does LeBron look normal? You pause, which means no.
Well,
okay,
I'm
go ahead.
trying to give you the benefit of the doubt. I'm trying to think, did I see any time when he just looked slow?
Does he look the same?
He had a good early and one where he just drove it to the right and sort of shot a sort of running fall away off the glass.
He doesn't look the same. Anybody that's watching LeBron will tell you, LeBron James does not look the same today as he looked before he had that injury.
Okay, so then out of nowhere, and it was shades of Luka in Dallas. We're going to talk more about Luka in a few minutes here on the show, but LeBron just brings up the play-in tournament because all of a sudden, they're on the verge of it.
Yes.
They're tied with Portland and Dallas, but they have the edge over Portland just because they beat them in the one time they played this year, right? So they're teetering on the play-in tournament, right? So he brings up whoever came up with that, you know what, needs to be fired. And so I'm thinking, who did come up with that? Well, I'm not sure whose original idea it was, but it sure worked in the bubble last year, right? It was exciting in the bubble. Everybody, they didn't just like it, they loved it.
Right.
So I don't know if this is the commissioner or I think Mark Cuban.
They're trying to recoup the money that they lost during the pandemic. And I believe moving forward, Skip, you're going to have, now I don't know if you're going to have 8, 9, 10, if you have 10, you might have it like you had last year. Yeah. It might be a situation like they had in the bubble, Skip. I believe that's going to be the scenario going forward, because guess what? That's an extra game. That's extra revenue. So they're going to try to recoup this revenue somehow.
Okay. So remember a couple of weeks back, Luka suddenly, when he realized, we're on the verge of being in the play-in, he blasted it. And yet his owner was a driving force behind getting it to a vote. So it goes to a vote of owners and Adam Silver.
Right.
And guess what the vote was? It was unanimous.
Yes.
So I guess LeBron thinks that every owner and the commissioner should be fired because they all voted for it.
Well, I'm not surprised, Skip, because I said when LeBron, if I'm not mistaken, they were in second place, I said they'd be lucky to be in the play-in tournament by the time he returned. And lo and behold, here we are. I'm not surprised by this. I'm surprised with how poorly AD has played in his return. And I figured it would take him a game, Skip, but he doesn't look the same. I mean, you can't play. How many minutes AD played last night? AD played 33 minutes and gave you 12 points. Skip, that's Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis once had a game of 59-20. He's a walking 27, 28, 10, 11 rebound game. He plays that many minutes and only gives you 12 points? That's unacceptable. We can't have that.
I will give you AD. I am having a hard time. I'm trying to go back through my mental notebook about LeBron. I'm seeing him shoot all the same shots. He's shooting fall-aways last night.
Yeah, Skip, there are times that LeBron could just step on it and get to the rim. Having had that injury, you're out there, but you know I can't do the same thing. And it's a very humbling feeling. It's not a very good feeling to know all they see is 84 and Sharpe on the back of that jersey. All everyone sees is Lakers with James on the back of that jersey. And knowing I can't put my foot in the dirt and do what I normally do. Knowing that he can't put his foot on that court and turn the corner and elevate and do all the things. Yeah, he's shooting jump shots, Skip. But LeBron James, they can't guard. Look at who they had to guard LeBron. They can't guard LeBron. Before LeBron got hurt, LeBron would have did whatever he wanted to do. But he can't do that anymore. He knows that. But no one cares, because if they see you out there, they expect you to give them that same level of greatness that you've bestowed upon them for 18 years.
So remember, Kevin Durant, missed 23 games, came back against the Pelicans and goes 5 of 5 from the field and 2 of 2 from 3 and 5 of 5 from the free throw line for 17 points.
His game
17, 7, and 5 in a big win over the Pelicans. And he looked like he'd never missed a dribble.
But his game is totally different than LeBron. Kevin Durant is not looking to put the ball on the floor and get to the basket. That's not what Kevin Durant game is.
Sometimes he does.
But that's not. His game is predicated. KD is going to hezzy pull up. KD is going to get to the mid-range and pull up. KD is really not getting. LeBron is getting to the rim. LeBron has the 5th or 6th highest percentage in the paint because he spends so much time there. That's not. Their games are totally, totally different. So KD is going to be less affected by injury on the lower half than what LeBron is. That's LeBron. If LeBron was the shooter Steph Curry, okay, fine. Steph Curry can have an injury on his lower body, and he will be fine because his game is not about driving and shooting. It's about handles and getting the shot up. KD is the exact same way. So KD is going to be less affected by the injury that's on the bottom than a LeBron James.
So KD coming off his hamstring issue, and it seemed like it was torn, like it was a serious one. He just went back-to-back 42-point games, and LeBron missed 20 games, only 23 for Kevin, 20 for LeBron, and now it looks like LeBron could be out again, right?
Yeah, I think it's highly unlikely that he plays tonight against the Nuggets.
All right, so here come the Nuggets, and guess what, ladies and gentlemen? They lost Jamal Murray, and they have won 9 of their last 10 because that little kid, he's not a kid, he's 30 years old, that Campazzo from Argentina has become the catalyst point guard that they did not have.
No, because that MVP has been the MVP. Nikola Jokic, which I told you is the MVP, and Michael Porter Jr. Remember?
Every time I look up, Michael Porter Jr. makes another shot. And every time I look up, Aaron Gordon makes another shot.
Aaron Gordon has been okay, but Skip, Michael Porter Jr., and I said it last year, watching him in the bubble, I said, man, if this kid put on like 5 or 6 pounds, Skip, he's KD. He got range like KD, Skip. He's 6'10". He can shoot, and he has no conscience. He don't care what the shot clock is, Skip. He'll pull up from 28, deep corner, top of the key, and he can put the ball on the floor and he can finish.
You're underestimating what Campazzo has done for that team. He's like a Rondo character for them.
Did you see Campazzo throw the ball behind his back and turn it over?
Well,
Did you see
I saw him against the Pelicans go 19, 6 rebounds, and 10 assists. That's what I saw.
So what
I don't know. Maybe I don't watch enough.
So what is Jokic giving you?
Jokic has been steady all year. Hadn't missed a game all year.
No.
I give you that. By default, I got to give you MVP by default.
So the man averaged 20. The man is the only player in the top 5 in the categories, point scoring and rebounding. And you talking about just because he's not missed a game, that's why he's going to win the MVP.
Hey, I saw the guy who is the most valuable, Embiid, last night against my Spurs. Just tore them apart.
Skip, did you see?
I'll take Embiid any day or any night over Jokic.
Did you see what
and I'll
Jokic
beat
did?
you.
Did you see what Jokic did to your team?
He was very good, but Michael Porter Jr. was the guy who made every time I looked up, he made another shot. Every time I looked up, Aaron Gordon made another shot. It was those two who killed my team. My team played great. Rondo played. He took over the fourth quarter, and even he wasn't enough to overcome their shot making.
Exactly. Yoke. Because you got to file him. They got nobody big enough to deal with it.
You've got Denver tonight. Then you've got said Clippers on Thursday night. Is LeBron going to duck that game also or not? I don't know.
I don't know. I think it's more likely that he misses tonight, and that gives him Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, plays Thursday. And then again, Skip, they got Friday night against Portland.
You got to go to Portland.
Yeah.
No bargain. Then you got Phoenix on Sunday. That's really no bargain.
Right.
Then you got this team called the Knicks. Who knew? They've won 9 of 10. And they come to L.A. the next Tuesday. Then you get an easy one, maybe against the Rockets, but you never know. They could all of a sudden.
The Lakers, Skip, they have no easy games.
At Indiana and at New Orleans to finish. Yikes.
Yeah. They better hope they stay in the play-in.
Yes,
because they can easily fall out of the play-out. They could be out in the play-out.
LeBron, I need you. Come on, suck it up and go.
He's going. He's giving you everything he's got, but that's all he has. That's all he has.
Well, as the great Tex Schramm once said about the Dallas Cowboys, everybody wants to see us lose, but no one wants us to go away. I don't want LeBron to go away, as in miss the playoffs.
Hey. It is what it is. I'm looking at a guy having had that injury, and I know what it looks like. I feel bad because you're asked to perform at an elite level, and your body just won't let you do it.
And you have no wiggle room. Yeah, you're just expected to come back and be as dominant as you were before.
Yeah, if you're the number 1 or 2 seed, Skip, so what? You fall to the 4 or 5.
There's no wiggle room. And he said, we don't know if he'll play tonight, but he said the most important thing for me is to be healthy and at full strength when it really matters.
Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.